Well, hello again. My name is the Reverend Simon Archer. I am the priest in charge of the parish of Arbury and Castletown on the Isle of Man, and I'm sort of bringing you along with a couple of my walks and my travels and my wanders. And I've decided to kind of bring you today to a walk that I've never done before. So I've just parked up near South Barrule, which is a large hill, should we say. This shouldn't take too long. It's not the longest of walks, but I just thought I'd take you on a wander up there with me. So I've kind of parked down a little country lane nearby, and let's see if I can actually do my active track. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to do a little wander. I'll get you off my ugly mug in a moment, and we'll have a little wander along the track up to South Barrule. A couple of my congregation apparently do this little walk every single morning. So keeps them well, keeps them fit. Fairly quiet up here. We're a bit higher up than usually. We've done a few sort of beach and seaside walks, so this will be a bit different. I'll probably turn the camera around now so you can see the walk up there, and we'll see how we get on. It does look like a little fairly decent walk actually, because it's quite steep. So, and I'm very unfit, so this should be fun. So here we go. Did I lock the car? Probably not. You probably don't need to worry about it around here really. Let's see if we can lock it. There we go. That's all locked. Got my walking boots on today, making sure I'm ready for whatever this is likely to be. It doesn't look too bad. But yeah, this is my first time walking up here, so I don't think it's a long walk at all. We've got lots of the heather here. This is going to look beautiful, stunning when that comes back into flower. You get quite a lot of heather and gorse. The gorse is prickly and yellow, and kind of flowers. You see flowers from it all year round. That's a bit of a shame. Just walking past seeing the poo bags from dog walkers who decide to put the poo in bags and then leave it on the trail. Not very good. And then just poo. They haven't even bothered doing that. It's probably better, to be honest with you. At least it will decay naturally, rather than putting it in a plastic bag and wait for that to decay and then the poo to decay. It's a nice conversation to start off with, isn't it? Dog poo. Bit of a problem, but it's a bit of a grey day today. It's dry. It's fine. It's not too cold. It's about 10 degrees, I think, 9 or 10. Which isn't bad. Probably pretty good walking weather, to be honest. I'm going to pretty much keep my my eyes on the ground, so I might not catch the best shots because there's another hill there. I don't know which one's which. I will learn them eventually. The bottom of this hill is South Barrule Plantation. It's a place I'll probably take you for a walk at some point as well, because it's one of my favourite places to walk. It's kind of magical. All the trees in neat rows. It's really good here today. It always is. But you know, that fresh, light, refreshing. And it's nice just walking, not really striding along too fast, just taking our time. Have a look at the views in the distance. That'll be in the centre there. You might not be able to see it, but unless you got it on a big screen, I'm recording in 4K, so you'll always get to have a good. If you check your settings in YouTube, you'll be able to have a look at this in pretty good detail. But it is quite grey. But you've got Derby Haven and Langness. And Castletown is down there as well. This morning we had a bit of a surprise. So whilst we were walking, we were just getting up and getting ready and things, and all of a sudden it sounded like the Birds, the movie The Birds, the sound of crows and gulls and all sorts of things, making an absolute racket. Kind of working out what that was all about, and turned out a bird of prey, a sparrowhawk we believe it was. Someone's decided to tell me. A sparrowhawk had caught a crow and was busy dismembering it in our back garden, and the other crows were swooping down to try and attack the sparrowhawk, and it was just sort of crouching over its prey. And yeah, still in the garden now, hours later, because it's still working on its lunch. And we weren't going to, even though we needed to let the dog out, we're not chasing it away because it's exhausted itself catching this prey, protecting it, and then starting to take it apart. If we chase it away now, it would have wasted all that energy and not been able to eat. So I'm having to take the dog out the front. The only reason we were going to show it off is to let the dog out. Just awkward really, but natural process. So how weird am I? I still have to show you that. How beautiful is that? I love the moss you get on the rocks and the colours you get there. Such a strange thing, I know. It's absolutely beautiful. I was thinking today to do some of those shots where, so when you watch people do these walking videos, and they edit them a lot and they look amazing, and I do hope this is South Barrule. I could be lost, you know. This could be the wrong one. There's another peak over that way. I'm thinking, what's that one? But hey, I should get my map out. I've got a proper Ordnance Survey map and some walking books as well. I don't know why I didn't bring them with me. It should tell me where everything is and where everything is. Yeah, so we had a sparrowhawk in the garden this morning, and we went for a walk into town. Had a small breakfast at Coffee Craft, which is a lovely little restaurant. Got lovely cafes and restaurants and things in Castletown. Had a walk down the front, say hello to the guy who runs the gelato shack place on the seafront there. He's back already. It's pretty chilly, but he does make some amazing gelato. I don't think people are too worried about getting cold. He's just building an area at the moment which is for children, children's like play area. So everything's sort of improving and growing and getting better and better. But that was a nice morning. Now Tasha is off running some errands, so I thought, why not get out myself, go for a bit of a walk. Today is Monday again, so if you've noticed there's not been a video for a couple of weeks. It's been busy. Today's my rest day. I'll try not to spend too much of my rest day sitting around resting, but rather getting some fresh air, get some exercise in, do some exploring. It's such a small island, yet there's so much to see, and I think we'll take years to even scratch the surface of it, but we're not in a rush. Beautiful. I will stop every now and again just to have a little scoot around. Over there in the distance is there is a quarry. If we go further in that direction, we'll get the slock. Right, let's have a look. And off we go again. Always find when you're walking, if any of your walkers or hikers out there, you'll get these hills like this, and you see the brow and you think, I'm nearly at the top. But when you're experienced, you kind of know that quite often you get over this little brow of a hill and there's another brow. There's another hill ahead of you, and it's always a bit further. And it gets a bit cooler as well as you get higher and higher. I haven't got anything that tells the temperature as it is sort of air temperature outside now, but it's definitely cooler than it is down at sea level. And I was a little bit concerned. I was thinking, oh, perhaps it'd be a bit damp for this camera, but can't be too protective of it, otherwise I'll never use it. I will eventually get something like an action camera for when it's a bit damp, a bit rainy, down on the beach, in the water, on the sand. An action camera is all suited for that. And I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. I'll probably get the DJI Osmo Action 4 because it will be basically producing exactly the same colours and content, so it'll just match up really easily and seamlessly with the footage I get on this. Talking and walking doesn't work very well. Definitely worth it though. Already getting some wonderful views. Really misty. Whew. All right. Keeping nice and warm. I moved back to using my old jacket. I got a Peter Storm jacket from, was it Millets or Mountain Warehouse or something? Probably Mountain Warehouse. Honestly, it's not up to much. Doesn't keep you dry. It's supposed to be at least a little bit waterproof or water resistant. Well, barely at all. Not that warm, despite having a separate inner fleece. And yeah, just not up to it. Get what you pay for. It's cheaper to sell in January last year, I think. Just not up to it at all. But I went back to using my old Decathlon Faithful jacket. Don't know what model it is. Tends to keep me dry. It's very windproof, which really helps with keeping you warm. And the inner jacket is actually a little, like a padded, it's not a down jacket, but like synthetic down jacket. Well, this is a bit muddier. We can avoid it though. Someone's not been very well. All right, here's another brow, which I know is nowhere near the top. It's quite calm with the wind today, actually. That's helping. I need to get some better gloves because my hands are getting slightly cold holding this camera. Whew. Just getting to the top of another brow. The only sound really in the background is that sound of the quarry machinery at work. Whew. It will probably get a fair bit windier as we get up there. Now I'm wishing I put my gloves. Don't forget, if you enjoy coming on with me on these walks, do please give the stream a like, a share, a subscribe. Subscribing on YouTube doesn't cost you anything. What it means is I'll let you know when I post a new video or any other content on there. Liking it improves who sees it on YouTube. New people seeing the videos. Sharing obviously gets it out to more new people. So I appreciate that if you can do that. It costs you nothing. I don't want any money from anybody. Just to get it out to as many people as possible. What I'm doing this for is partly sharing a story of moving to the Isle of Man, partly sharing the beauty of God's creation, and there'll be some church type stuff on there as well, which you can watch or not watch, up to you. And maybe without listening, you can turn the volume down and not listen to me huffing and puffing as I walk up here, and maybe it's just a nice thing to watch. Oh, not far off now. Higher and higher we go. So far, taking it easy. 17 minutes. So imagine it's a 20-minute up, 20-minute down kind of walk. Which is not bad at all. And I have been busy, so last few weeks, so no, there hasn't been a YouTube video for a couple of weeks. Well, the last couple of weeks I've spent a lot of time preparing for and taking funerals. It's been a bit of a time. We've had 3 or 4, fourth one's next week, but 4 funerals in about 3 weeks, and it's a little bit unusual. When you get details of a parish before you take on the post, they often give you something called a profile, which is a description of the parish, the kind of what their desires, future hopes are, vision of that parish are from the congregation, some factual information about where it is and local community, and quite often some numbers, Sunday attendance, electoral roll, which is how many people are registered to that parish as being members of that church, whether they come on a Sunday or not. Some people are unable to make it in on a Sunday due to illness, age, mobility, but could still be as part of the congregation on the electoral roll. So I'll give you some numbers there, and they usually tell you weddings, baptisms and funerals. So between one parish, but 2 churches we had listed on the profile, I think it was 11 funerals in total across the 2. And in a year, that is 2022. So I've done, in 6 months, I've already done 6, 7, no, probably more like 8 now, 8 funerals, and that's all basically from one church. So I think we'll be exceeding that by some way over the next 6 months. So and it may seem a bit gruesome to go, yeah, it's good that we're getting more funerals. The thing is, however many people will die in the parish will die in the parish. It's whether or not they feel they wish to come to the church to commemorate and remember that person. And so I always see it as a win if they give us the honour, the privilege of being able to take that service. So it's positive when we get more, because a lot of stuff goes to civil celebrants, and that's nothing against civil celebrants at all. But I think it becomes a little bit of the default because, same with weddings, people assume that the church is going to be more expensive when usually it's cheaper. Bear in mind, this is something we've been doing for a couple of thousand years, something I've been doing for 10 years. We often have more experience in these things and how it goes together than some of the civil celebrants around. It's what we do, it's not our business. We're not a commercial enterprise looking to make money from this, which makes a difference because there's always going to be influences from it being something where you need to make money rather than being something where it's just something you offer as part of your ministry. So I see it as a huge bonus, a real positive when we have more funerals coming in, even if that might seem a little morbid. That's what we walked up so far. The car is down where that line of trees is, straight in front now. Be a bit windy here, but I know this mic's been doing really well with the wind reduction software and stuff like that it's got on it as well. Seems to work quite well. Right, and we're coming to the last little bit, you know. It's been quite good considering how wet it's been. It's been very good track, staying fairly dry in most places, easily passable now, so no doubt in drier, warmer months, an absolute doddle. Definitely somewhere I'll bring Tasha, probably the kids, for a bit of a walk. I did Snaefell a little while back, only from the bungalow, but that was a lot steeper and less easy ground to walk up. So we were all a lot less fit at that point because none of us have done much walking for a while since the last holidays. Now there'll be some posts coming up on the Isle of Man, which I'm really interested about. I'm actually going to probably put together a video with a bit more effort, shall we say, perhaps a bit more scripted, a bit more planned, to talk about coming here as a ordained minister, as a priest, to take on a post on the Isle of Man, and what that's like for someone who's been here 6 months, who went from thinking it might be a really wonderful thing to do to within a year being here. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. I'll probably put it on my YouTube channel as well as it being on the diocesan pages. My goodness, it's gorgeous up here. The views are amazing, and I imagine this is a grey day. It's the thing, when it's this good on a grey day, can you imagine what it's going to be like on a gloriously sunny day, which we get down that way. Right in the distance is the Calf of Man. I always find it a little confusing because Port Erin, as you go past Port St Mary, Port Erin, going down to the Sound, it always puts you off a little because it's on a peninsula, so you kind of get a bit lost there a little bit. I do, but in my head, but it's just absolutely stunning. Not much light today though. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Have a bit of sunshine breaking through, but I don't think we're going to get that. Feels more like I should be in a scene from The Hound of the Baskervilles, which my wife loves. Apparently there's a Hound of the Baskervilles from maybe a few years ago. I was actually filmed here. It's incredible. Right, a little bit further, we should be at the top, and I'll be at my first and not last visit to the top of South Barrule. Not made it yet. I've got a funny feeling I should be alright now. So it's interesting when you talk to people about moving to the Isle of Man for ministry. For me, it was always a little bit of I had to balance it up in my head. I had to pray on it and think on it and discern it quite a lot, because it'd be very easy to move to somewhere because the place is beautiful and it would suit your kind of social lifestyle or what you like to do as your hobbies in your spare time. But I think I've seen a lot of priests, especially retiring priests actually, who've moved to like the southwest, places like that for retirement or for the last few years, and they found it a very lonely existence, being quite rural, being new to an area. So I think you have to be very careful that it's a ministry that you're called to. It's a place that you're called to, and you need to pray and think and hopefully share and discern with others. Makes a lot of sense. If you're moving here just for work, again, it can all seem very exciting, lots of beaches and things, lots of exciting videos you see online about life over here. If you look at locate.im, look at relocating to the Isle of Man, it seems very exciting. And then you have to come here and it's new people, different costs, different cost of living is different. I wouldn't necessarily say more expensive, but depending on where you come from. Then you've got kids settling into schools if you've got that issue. Schooling, banking, keeping in touch with family if you're leaving family behind somewhere. Travel backwards and forwards and what that can be like when it's a bit difficult. It can be, living on an island. So lots of things, especially if you're, let's say, coming here as a priest. What I will say is it's hard to compare, because I think I was very fortunate with the parishes I got. Arbury and Castletown are two beautiful parishes, really contrasting, very different. One's more town, one's more rural. Give me a great, exciting ministry because it is so varied. And such wonderful, wonderful people. But there's wonderful people around the communities as well. I found it quite easy to get on with people, to mix in. I throw myself into some of the events, and my wife's Tasha's gone to bingo and some other events separately to myself. She's loving it, made new friends. If you're outgoing people, if you're willing to not just lock yourself up in your vicarage or your house and go, do you know what, I'm going to go along to this, you'll meet lots and lots of wonderful people. It is just one of the friendliest places you could ever go to. You hear a little bit of, talk about come-overs and stopovers, and there's a boat in the morning if you don't like it. And funny enough, we were joking about this the other day, the old phrase, well, if anyone complains and you're not a Manx born and bred, you get, well, there's a boat in the morning if you don't like it. But funny enough, with the reliability of the boat at the moment, there might be a boat in the morning, but quite possibly there won't be as well. So that makes it slightly more amusing. But apart from the people who will complain if you complain, and bearing in mind that they'll complain all the time about absolutely everything, but if you come over here, apparently you're not allowed to complain about anything. At least not publicly. But I can understand to a degree. They live here, have always lived here. It's kind of that little bit of a right to complain. Don't come over here and start moaning that it hasn't got enough Starbucks or Costas or McDonald's, or you kind of, especially that thing you get where people leave a place that they've grown to dislike so much that to move to a place of safety, of calm, a slower pace, of beautiful landscapes, and they want to change it all to the place that you just left because you hated it. It's all a bit strange. So definitely I would say understand why they Don't like too many complaints. Well, there you go. Oh, it's a QR code on here. So if I put this right in the centre, then you, with the wonders of, oh, people have scratched this, what a shame. Hopefully, you'll be able to have a look at that and be able to pick up on the QR code, though some people have seemed to have scratched it, which again is that kind of, you get that kind of silly little vandalism that takes place, which you get anywhere. So let's do a nice, whew, probably got up too quick then. Let's lean against this for a moment so I don't fall over. Do 360 then. So we go from that post there, and I can do a nice pan around the view from the top. Nice. Beautiful. Let's have a look at this sign then. So that's the trig point. Do you know, I'd just love to do some wild camping around here. So I'm going to put this up on screen and then I'll read it to you as well. So Celtic Iron Age hill fort enclosing summit of South Barrule, 1,585 feet. The main defensive stronghold in the south of the island in prehistoric times. The original inner rampart, largely destroyed, encloses remains of many circular huts. The fort was later enlarged by construction of a massive outer stone rampart. Partially excavated 1960 to 61, and that says a Manx Museum and National Trust. Fantastic. So Celtic Iron Age hill fort. Beautiful. Oh, got up too quick again. If you see the picture wobble and me fall over, that's because I get, I think it's called postural hypertension or something along those lines. Sort it out one day. I get up too quick and I fall over. Someone hopefully won't message and say, oh, you've got to sort that out. I've had it for years. So, right. I'm going to look around and maybe we'll do a little get out the breeze a bit. Where's the wind coming from? Wind's coming from that way, if you can hear me. So that should cover the mic a little bit. And see if I can find somewhere. As soon as you get behind anything, it does make it a lot easier. Even just down the hill a little bit, you lose some of the breeze. Heck. We could do it here, couldn't we? Right. Ba-da-ba. Come on. There we go. So hopefully, the only thing I'm worried about here is, will this topple over in the wind? Ooh. I don't know whether I want to put that up there. It's shaking quite a lot. Do I want to? Have I got anything heavy I can put on it? I've got a multi-tool, but I'm not sure that's even going to be that heavy anyway. So I could put that there. That might give it a little bit more weight. We'll see. Right. If it starts to topple, you'll see me run. So I can cover this microphone up a bit, so hopefully you don't get too windswept. Stunning, absolutely beautiful here. I can imagine it's going to be a bit like our first trip up Snaefell, which was very windy and cloudy, really knock you off your feet windy, and that was exciting and wonderful. But I went back on a day when it was sunny and it was a different experience again altogether. But yeah, so this is the top of South Barrule. Get a good view, or at least the hill fort here, and we've sea all around pretty much, which you obviously get here. You don't have to go too far to find the sea. It's only it's about 30 miles top to bottom, 30 odd miles, and then about 15 miles across. So it's a really easy place to find your way around, because if you get caught out just driving to meet the sea and either go left or right, you can't really get that lost. Windy, beautiful. This season it's grey today, but we've had some absolutely wonderful weather. I was talking about moving here, wasn't I? If you're coming as potentially a priest, I guess, and maybe this will make it into my other video. Maybe this is just some ramblings. I hope there's perhaps some people might pick up on this video. If we did when we were looking to come here, we watched every video, read every blog, looked at absolutely everything we possibly could to get an idea of what this place might be like. I wonder if I could. Sorry, there are rings at the top of this, and I'm just wondering if I was to wrap the wrist cord around here, whether that would just give me a little bit less to panic about, because I am panicking a little bit. This might be too much. And now I've just dropped a bit of paper in my pocket. That's fine. Some readings. Come on, pick me up again. Where are you? No, you're not going to pick me up. Okay, let's try that. Hello, here. There we go. Should help. Give me a little bit more confidence in it. Yeah, so here am I sitting on the top of a windy hill. It's grey. I think if this doesn't excite you, if the idea of being somewhere where you can, in minutes, you can be somewhere as beautiful and as windswept and interesting and exciting as this, then it probably isn't the place for you. Really, in all honesty, the ministry here is amazing, I can tell you that. There's so much potential. Communities are really engaged still. Wonderful communities. Some will be a bit anti-church. Welcome to the world as a whole. Slightly more believers over here than in England, in the UK, because this isn't part of the UK, this isn't England, even though it's part of the Church of England. It isn't England, so the census over here, it's still over 50% of the people on the island have identify as Christian. And what can I say? I've been here 6 months. I will say, and this isn't showing off. This is just with some real engagement, some real kind of community stuff, and we are seeing growth already. I'm a new face. It's going to happen anyway. I'm not, and there's people who've served this island, these parishes for a very, very long time and faithfully, and are doing the absolutely massive amounts here. But new face coming in always helps, and they've gone through a rocky road in the last few years, Albury and Castletown. So it's definitely not down to me, but the community and the congregation are working really hard, and we're seeing those green shoots of growth, going from, I guess, last year looking at sort of 20s on a Sunday, sometimes less, 15, 16 people in some places, to being 50 to 60 between the two churches on a Sunday now, pretty consistently. Even we've got a few people away at the moment, we seem to be doing quite well. And so if you look to percentage growth, that would be amazing, but it's just a few, and it's wonderful, and we celebrate and we praise God for every day for the wonderful things He's doing in our parish. But more work to do, and I'd happily serve if it was 3 people coming on a Sunday. That doesn't bother me. It's as long as we can keep going, as long as we can keep the doors open, keep the roof on, keep the buildings maintained, we'll keep having a Christian presence in the communities here. Even if we were to close the churches and move into schools and huts and front rooms, it wouldn't bother me. I'd still do it 100%. It's such an amazing place, and ministry is amazing anyway. I think we'd do that wherever we were. But yeah, so this place, if you're looking for a ministry which is exciting, really challenging, interesting, where you have a lot of responsibility of your own time and work, which most people do, but there's usually more responsibilities in this diocese because it's such a small diocese. Quite often you'll have other responsibilities. I'm looking at potentially taking on a lot of the social media stuff, which you can understand doing stuff like this. There's a much better video maker actually called Alex Brown, and his ministry, he does stuff that he does with video content is incredible. Mine's a little bit rough around the edges, but that's how I work. Just turning, I think the wind's turning, so yeah, so he does ridiculous. So Reverend Alex Brown, you don't have to look too far to find him on the Isle of Man, and he does incredible videos, so do watch those. But yeah, there's usually, so lots of people take on different extra roles for the diocese because there just isn't a massive staff here. But again, I think that leaves this place open to such potential. I mean, it could really end up being the model for ministry in the rest of the Church of England, because it isn't very heavily weighted to the hierarchy. We have a bishop and archdeacon. We've got some sort of southern team leaders, team leaders for the south, the north, the east, the west. That's it. Nothing else. There's some team leaders, a bit like area deans, I guess. So some structure. But apart from that, that's it. So it could work as a whole diocese, working with the clergy, taking on diocesan roles. Probably how it has been before in the past, and we just seem to have overloaded our, well, considering that the parishioners give £1 billion to the Church of England every year from monthly giving, and 380 million comes back down or something. So the rest of it disappears in other parts. Which some is necessary. Safeguarding is massively important. How we support victims of safeguarding abuse, massively important. Lots of areas, but I think we can see there's lots of areas where we're investing where it's absolutely a waste of money. And what we need is people on the ground. We need priests serving parishes. I try not to get in the middle of all this save the parish stuff, but I know there was a post, this is big controversial, but there's a post for deconstructing whiteness as part of a racial justice, hugely important. I wouldn't have served in a parish that I did before and not think that racial justice was important, but there's some really odd roles coming through now, whole teams of people. And actually, most of my congregation, so I was in, my last church was about 40% black. Of the white congregation, Eastern European, Spanish, we had Chinese members and all sorts, and a really mixed bag of really diverse, cosmopolitan, if you like, congregation. And I don't think that's really what they'd want to see from the church. And what most of the congregation would want of all colours is really faithful teaching, really robust teaching, really good leadership. They want to get us out there and evangelising and be a bit more passionate about our faith. There's a lot of bureaucracy going on at the moment, and we need to kind of cut that back and get on with the true mission, the true Missio Dei, the mission of God. We need to proclaim the gospel anew. We need to get out there. This has become a bit of a religious section, isn't it? Apologies for that if you're just here for a nice walk. But it's my ramblings anyway. So beautiful place this is. I'll stop now. That's me on a soapbox. You get me talking. I'm what's known as an external processor. That means that things I think about out loud. That's how I work them out. Even if so, when I'm talking, I'm often talking to myself in the car because I need to hear myself say things to actually understand them and work them out in my head. So unfortunately, it makes me a massive liability. Probably it means I'll never be an archdeacon, which I'm so glad about because I never want to be. I'd be lucky if I make a team leader. Because I have this tendency to talk out loud, the thoughts in my head, and I'm sure I could train and be better, but I kind of like it. It means other people can challenge me on stuff that I'm thinking, rather than it being just stuff going around inside my head. So it's a good thing, I think, most of the time. Until you say something wrong that you regret immediately, which does happen. I wish you could see this I don't know how this will come out, because I wish you could see this with my what I'm seeing now with my eyes. It's just beautiful. Can't feel my ears anymore. Can't feel my ears, but there we go. Right, I don't even know where we've got to. I've had a nice little sit down for a bit. I'm going to stop, I think, for a moment, and I'm going to record the readings for Sunday. Maybe I'll do that further down, shall I? I'm going to find a spot. My useful multi-tool. Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere. That's good. Good to know that. Oh, gimbal endpoints reached. There we go. Well, we're going to turn the camera around now anyway. Yeah, I've got a multi-tool with me, which is so useful. It's done everything. I think my wife got it from me years ago, and it's just been this one thing that's fixed tents and cars, and it's been absolutely awesome for so many years. And it's not a Leatherman one, it's just a generic multi-tool, and it's absolutely been fantastic. Right, let's turn you around. 45 minutes we're out at the moment, so this will be a good one. This will take ages to put together. That's why I don't do editing. So one last, let's see if we can reach up a little bit so you get a proper view. And then what we'll do is I'm going to do I'm going to pause for a moment. So there'll probably be a cut. I don't usually do cuts in this, but I want to do a slightly different aspect ratio, so I can do a little video from the top of here for TikTok. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not one of those sad priests. Perhaps I am. I might be. Am I one of those sado priests who are trying to make themselves relevant by being on TikTok? It's definitely better looking and cooler vicars doing this. Okay, search, you'll find them. But this is me anyway. It's what you get with me. It's what you get with me. Right. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment. So, I've just done some recordings, other bits and bobs. What have I done? A little bit of a kind of a whiz around recording like that for TikTok or something. I don't know. It'll go on something. Probably on Facebook as well if I can make it work. Then it's going to be. What else are we going to do? Oh yeah, I've got the YouTube video to put together, and I've just done the readings for Sunday, so that'll be as a separate YouTube video, not as part of this. But now we're just going to walk back to the car, which I hope is still there and not sunk into the ground. It made a horrible scraping noise as I was parking up, so I may have taken my exhaust off, but we'll see. We'll be fine, I'm sure. So let's go for a nice little walk down while we chat. I can go home and make myself a sandwich and a hot drink so I can feel my hands again, because that would be nice. Do you like walking? Do you like getting out and about? So, people thinking of moving, people thinking of ministry here. If you like getting out and about, this is got to be one of the best places in the whole world. Well, maybe not the whole world, but for me, I think it is. One of the best places you can go to, have such varied landscape so close. There are beautiful beaches, beautiful sea. Bit colder than some places, I know, but we have a lot of dolphins. We get basking sharks, pods of all sorts of cetaceans, as they're called. So different kinds of dolphins. Humpbacks. I think we've had humpbacks. Yeah, humpbacks. It was humpbacks. So whales and all sorts. It's amazing. What we see so far, not a lot. We haven't been here very long. You have to spend some time waiting for these things. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some basking sharks when they come into their kind of migrationary pattern around here. We do have a couple of resident dolphins, Starlight and Moonlight. I think Moonlight is Starlight's daughter, if I'm right. So we've got a couple of resident dolphins. But yeah, it's a very dog-friendly place. If you bring dogs here, if you move with dogs, plenty of walking going on. I say some people are less good with their dog deposits than others, but there's lots of places, pubs, restaurants, cafes, the train, Heritage Railway, which is back on Friday. I can't wait for that. I'll have to do a video going on the Heritage train. Can't wait for that. But the train's back, and you can take dogs on there. I think they have to have a ticket actually, but anyway, it's still, the fact that they're dog friendly is good. Whoo, that breeze fresh. I don't think I'll get frostbite. Still, gloves would have been a good idea. I need some of those gloves with the finger things so you can actually use your device, because this is actually touchscreen on this as well. All right. But yeah, good place to bring animals and pets and things if you've got dogs that you want to move to a place like this. Incredible, really good. But yeah, so that makes it back. So you've got to, if you're thinking about moving here for priestly ministry, well, I'd love to say just do it, but do make sure it's what you really, really, really want, because there's lots of, like in many rural places or interesting places and islands and stuff, where people have done it and then they go, I've missed my family, I've missed having everything on my doorstep, I've missed being able to travel easily on holidays, and I've missed this and I missed that. And you've got to remember that's a whole congregation that you have messed around with for a few years of wonderful, funny experiences, but then you go away because it wasn't for you. And I'd say that's poor discernment, actually. That sounds mean. Well, I'm mean. I don't think you mess with the congregation as you have to. Yes, things change. Things change for me. I was in my last parish for only 4 years. But that's a longer story. And if I went through everything, I think anybody would understand why I decided it was the right time to move. Everything from children being assaulted to and threatened, knife searches going on in the schools, threats of violence, people trying to break into the vicarage. It wasn't it wasn't me. It's my decision as well. But my family needed to be safer and happier, and they are ridiculously happy here. It's all I could say. Ridiculously happy. I've never known our family closer, in that we will sit down and have movie nights together more than ever before, and they're less withdrawn, they're more outgoing. We spend more time doing things as a family, and they enjoy. The stress is gone, and their health is better, especially with asthma and things like that. But anyway, that's just bits and bobs of it. But there's a much longer story there. Maybe I'll tell it at some point. But wonderful parish that will be coming up soon, no doubt. The one I've left, fantastic place to be. Lots of good stuff going on there. Lots of great foundations laid, but I had to move on. This is where I'm called to, and we're incredibly happy. 6 months has flown by. But yeah, if you're going to come over here, make sure it's the right thing for you. Understand, be realistic about costs. You can always contact me. I'll always help if I can with advice and guidance and things. From my recent experience, there's lots of bad tips on some of these Facebook pages and groups and things for the Isle of Man, where people will tell you 10 different ways you register your car over here. They'll tell you things that aren't quite right and aren't quite true, not because they're malicious, but just because things change quickly, or they've misremembered something, but everyone wants to help, but not necessarily has the professional or recent relevant experience to do so. But they'll kind of offer you the down the pub kind of advice, which you probably don't need if you're thinking about moving here. So we're kind of doing a moving thing again, aren't we? I think that's going to come up quite a lot, though, because I know lots of people are interested in the place. There, as a potential place. Oh, look at how far we've come down now. Making good progress. This has been actually a really nice walk, considering it's a bit windy, but not too bad at all. And it's very cold still. We're still only in March. But do you know what? Not bad at all. Definitely manageable. As I say, my nice decathlon coat rather than the one I bought more recently, which is rubbish. I'd have been freezing in that. Admittedly, I've got a thermal top on under this as well. Thermal top, a jumper, and this double-layered decathlon coat, which I really love. Which I don't do anymore. Otherwise, I'd be buying a new one, because it's starting to get holes in it now. But I've got camped out using this, gone miles and miles of hikes, probably hundreds of miles of walking in it, and all sorts of weathers, extreme weathers, and it's been absolutely fantastic. God, I do waffle on and go and digress in all sorts of directions, don't I? So this will probably be quite a long video, I imagine. I've tried doing one of those walking shots as well, so we'll see how that works. Where they, I said at the start, towards the earlier on in the video, where you see them do this B-roll of them walking up, and I know full well after seeing a bit about editing and that, I didn't even think of it before, but they actually have to put their camera down, record themselves walking past the camera, and then go back and get a camera. It's like, what a strange thing to have to keep doing, like doubling up the walking. That's why I don't do a lot of editing. Well, one of the many reasons I don't do a lot of editing, apart from being lazy and not very good at it. So, but anyway, it's fun. I like doing a bit of like having a different hobby, something I can get my teeth into. Challenges me a little bit. Learning new skills, always good. For visiting the Isle of Man, do it, just do it, please. If you're thinking about having a holiday, I know it's a bit more expensive to get over here. I know it can be expensive to get over here by ferry. You might struggle a little bit with accommodation. There's a few places you can camp. There's lots of little places you can stay in, hotels and B&Bs. But honestly, it's so accessible. The whole island is so accessible by buses. If you flew in, you could get the buses everywhere. If you give the car over, there's so much to see. And then you've got, like I say, end of this week, Heritage Railway opens up again, which means we'll have steam trains running through this countryside. I can literally go to Tesco's on a steam train. How ridiculously amazing is that? That's just, it just blows my mind that I could do a Tesco shop on a steam train. It's so true. And people think, well, you go on the Heritage Railway for, to go on the Heritage Railway to enjoy the steam railway. But I had people on the train when I was there, when we did it the first time. We were just like tourists. And there was someone on the train there going to see their daughter. They picked up some shopping from Tesco's, and they were in the carriage with us with their Tesco shopping bags. How great is that? I love that idea. So, yep. Perhaps I'll take you on a Tesco shop. It won't be a big shop. I'm not going to fill a carriage for like 20 bags and then try and carry them back from Castletown Station to my home. But definitely feel like a little trip to Douglas might be in order. Oh, we got the muddy bit again. My feet are nice and dry. These were cheap boots as well. These again, Peter Storm. I think over time, when I can afford it, I'll be investing in some better boots and some better clothing, I think. Definitely some more thermal, warm stuff so that I can make the most of it while, even when it's cold and wet and horrible, I can be out in it and not worry about it too much. Because mostly it's the clothing that makes the difference. If you get the right layers, stuff that actually does a good job. The down stuff works so well. All my down jackets, gilets and stuff keep my body so warm. So I really would fancy a really quite expensive down jacket. Expensive not because I want to spend a lot of money, but because you just have to spend it to get something decent. Down packs up really nice and small as well. Oh, right. Getting there. Yeah, it's not too much further. Not too much further. Yeah, someone walking up here, that's good. So South Barrule done. Where am I going to go next? So South Barrule is one of the spots I hadn't been to, although I've been to this is South Barrule, the actual hill. But there's South Barrule Plantation, which we really like. There's a lovely coffee shop there at South Barrule. I think it's the one that's called the Coffee Shack. But that's really good. Amazing coffee. Really, good quality coffee. And they do great coffee shops over here. Really good quality coffee. Coffee and bagel breakfast things, which are just ridiculous and messy, and with little banjo eggs. So they're really runny eggs, like runny yolks. Really good fun. Definitely recommend it. But we'll go there and do a little walk along in South Barrule, perhaps with Tasha. We both like that, South Barrule, so plantation. So just the rows of trees and it's kind of magical. It's one of my favourite little short videos I've ever taken, has been in there, taking a picture of Tasha taking pictures, which is one of my things that I do. When we get to someone walking up, they're quite a distance away at the moment. When we get there, I'll point the camera to one side and go quiet for a bit, because I don't like to stop recording, but I don't like to point it in people's faces either. Downhill's much harder on the knees. So I probably inherited my dad's knees, which aren't great. My left knee was always a bit of a problem after I had a bicycle, not a motorbike, but a bicycle accident. I hit the back of a parked car going very fast down a hill. smashing up my bike, smashing up my lights from my bike, and smashing up my knee, which inflated to about 4 times the size. And ever since then, I've had no feeling at the front of my left knee, crushed all the nerves there, and it can occasionally swell up. But it also gives me a little bit of jib. It's not as strong as it could be, but this will all be good for it actually, although it's going to hurt a little bit. I'll be uncomfortable. Building up some strength around my knees is not a bad thing. Get in there. Ugh. I don't know if you can hear the sound of the kind of pneumatic drill from the quarry, but I don't mind that sort of background noise. It could be silent here, but that's kind of the industry that goes all around here. It's just what it is, isn't it? I don't think there's much of a problem with it. It's nice. I'm gonna start posting that to the side so I'm not filming anyone. It's quite a good gradient actually, it's not too steep. It works quite well. Hello. Nearly there. So this is about, I guess, 10 minutes from my house. So I straight from door to the bottom here, about 10 minutes. Actually goes past, goes through my parish really. I don't know what parts of this sit within my own parish, to be honest with you. I'd love to, need to get better. Now I'm a bit more familiar with the kind of the area, and things will make a lot more sense because people kind of go to you, oh yeah, so and so's in your parish, and like Roanoke and places, and they'll say that's in your parish, and when I first got here I was like, well, I don't know where that is, so that really doesn't help me. I haven't memorized all the place names yet, so now I'm getting a bit more knowledge. It might be nice to look at a map again and sort of work out the parish boundaries. There must be something especially from the last sort of boundary changes and parish changes that were here that kind of denote where I move up to, and that'll give me a chance to walk that boundary at some point. Was it beat the parish boundary, something like that? I don't know. Some kind of tradition, but it'd be good to walk it and kind of work out exactly what falls within it, because there might be people that are completely ignored who are within the parish, and I'd like to change that. So, nearly there. I expect there's people wondering what happened to, because obviously I'm the gaming vicar. That's the story, because I'm nearly at the car, so it's a story for another time really. But if you search the gaming vicar on, I used to be called Vicarious BIG, so don't shoot me for that one, but Vicarious BIG, and then but everyone called me the gaming vicar, so I changed my name not that long ago to match up with that, because that's what just everyone called me. But that you'll find stuff on the BBC, on CBS, on the news in Miami, a gaming Vicar from England. And I just did something during lockdown where I was playing a lot of video games with people who were kind of stuck at home, and chatting to people, mainly young men who were struggling a bit at home, might need a bit of company, you know, suddenly weren't going out to work and suddenly weren't allowed to even leave their home, and all they had was a video console in front of them and a lot of time in their hands, and built up a bit of a community and started doing some ministry online. And it kind of got out, and then it got bigger, and then I ended up on BBC News and doing some stuff with Bethesda, which was awesome, as I streamed to 110,000 people, near 120 I think, but 110,000 people watched me stream a game for Bethesda at their annual big conference thing that they have. So yeah, QuakeCon, I think it's called, QuakeCon. So that was kind of cool. Had my 5 minutes of fame. So maybe the gaming will come back at some point. Live streams on, probably on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, but that will happen in the future. So do like, share, subscribe. Costs you not a penny to do any of those things. And what that does, it does make sure that these videos get out to as many people as possible. Helps to grow the channel. It gives me more reason, if you like, to get out there and do a bit more, because people are watching it or enjoying it or starting to follow. I mean, I started doing this again a few weeks ago, and I went from 3 to, I guess, 22 subscribers. I can't complain at that. I think that's all right, isn't it? It can't be terrible. Now I've got to go back to my car, and I heard a scrape, so if I've lost the bottom of my oil pan, there should be a big puddle of oil on the ground, and I'm not going anywhere, but we shall see. We shall see. Probably just an underpan getting a bit of a scrape. He says, hoping desperately that he's going to get home. So what do we think? Beautiful. Right. What am I doing here? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Lots of triple presses and stuff. So, it's there behind me is South Barrule. We've climbed to the summit of South Barrule together, and I really enjoyed that. It's good to get some fresh air, a bit breezier up there. Good to get out, not to spend a rest day sat in a chair. I'm going to go back now. As the guy I watch, have a sandwich. I'm going to watch a guy called The Running Man's, M-A-N-Z, who's on Twitch, who plays a game I quite like called DayZ, which I've downloaded and played at least 10 hours of, which sounds, oh, you might go 10 hours, that's a long time. He's about 10,000 hours in, I think, but, or maybe 5,000 hours or something crazy. He's played it for years, but yeah, I'll go home and watch a bit of that and relax for a bit while I have a cup of tea. And then I'll be transferring all this video, because it will take that long to transfer all this video over to my computer. It takes a while. Unfortunately, I haven't got a built-in card reader, and I haven't even got USB-C in this gaming computer. It's a shame, really. So at some point, you might need updating. What I'd rather do, is honestly, is to update my my iMac, which is 12 years old. So if anyone fancies donating about £1,800 as a one-off donation to me, about £1,800 gets me the PC, the iMac that I need to be able to do it. I could probably do it with a Mac Mini and a screen, but once you start adding up stuff together, yeah, so I'm after a 24-inch iMac, because I've got a 27 at the moment, with enough storage to get me through, and then I can chuck some hard drives into it, and I'll be able to do some editing, and it will take me a little bit less time, shall we say, to transfer this stuff across, rather than it taking me 40 minutes just to transfer the content off the memory stick onto the computer, and then everything just takes ages. But I mean, joking, please don't send me £1,800 unless you desperately want to. We'll get there. We're going to update that computer at some point anyway, so that's in the plan. Looks like footpath sign's broken off there. That's a shame. Paths are really well kept here, by the way. I will say, most people complain about some being overgrown, but considering the resources they have, I think they do an amazing job. I'll be honest, I think they do an incredible job keeping some of these paths in good nick. So there's some really good walks around the island. We're going to do some more, going to do plenty more, and as much as possible kind of live, even if it's like a 3-hour walk. I can record for quite a long time on this. Well, I've got my battery at the moment, because I've got a battery handle, you see. I've still got 91% on the main battery, although the booster battery's gone now. So I think I've probably done a good hour and a half recording. So yeah, maybe 2.5 hours probably at 4K 30. So I'll take that, live with that quite happily. I think I'm waffling because I don't want to go home really. I do, but it's just so beautiful. I don't know if it works, if your head works like this, but just the little things, you start looking really closely at stuff and you see the moss and the lichen on stones, and you see here you've got lots of quartz. You've got these beautiful white stones pushing out the soil, and the different, at the moment it's really different colours of green, like dark and light, browns and greens and rich colours. And we've got the kind of behind me over here, like the evergreens, from the plantations, the evergreens, non-deciduous, whatever it is, I don't know. It's just special. Oh, I'm going to carry on walking. No, I'm supposed to be stopping. Here's me. I was going to lean on this post, say some final words, and now, oh, that's the car of the other person, I'm guessing, who's walking here. There's another footpath here that goes through here. Oh, I could get lost in these quite happily. I don't mean get lost in a bad way. I mean get lost as in, it would be great to get lost here. I think it would be fantastic. This may even be the beginning of South Barrule plantation. Might well be. This is blueberry. This might also be a mountain bike trial place. How many kilometres of wild mountain bike trails go? Yeah, so I'll show you. Hold on. So you got some like trails here and great for mountain bikes. Yeah, if you're a biker, if you're into mountain biking, yeah, this is a great place to be. They've got some amazing trails and jumps and tracks and things. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. But hey, not a bad spot to finish off here actually. In that this is where it gets kind of magical. The moss covered trees. Parts of the plantation which we'll explore another time, and be good to do something, trying to get some different landscapes in, because we're doing a lot of kind of seaside type stuff, beaches and walks along those sort of coastal roads. So to do something up there to go to the hills. So next time will be South Barrule, and we'll be maybe South Barrule or one of the plantations anyway, perhaps one of the ones we haven't been to. But thank you very much for watching. If you watched it to this stage anyway, wow, good on you. You must have had very little to do with your time if you're bothering to watch it to the very end. But thank you for joining me again. Like, share, subscribe. That'll be really handy. And just keep watching the videos. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.